My name is Yinka Adegoke. I'm the Africa editor for Quartz. Quartz is a New York-based global digital platform which covers the new global economy. I cover the African continent. Our focus is on innovation in Africa, on new businesses, new ideas, new types of leaders across the continent. Here at Agrotech Summit in London, because it's a great opportunity to meet really interesting people, hear really different types of ideas about things people are working on, particularly in the tech space and innovation, something that we're focused on at Quartz, and just to network. It's always great to meet people. I've been impressed by many of the speakers here at Agrotech Summit. In particular, Wale Ayeni at IFC had some really interesting things to say. Some also on the same panel talked a lot about the sort of distortion of investment in the Africa space, which I thought was really interesting. He talked about soft capital versus investable capital. And there are many other people here that I'm still excited to hear from. I'll see if I can think of any others, but that's it for now. I'm interested in agri-tech. I think that's a space that is sometimes overlooked, but it can have a huge influence on the continent. And people who have new ideas in that space are going to do very well because Africa has a ton of unemployed people, young people, and we have issues with food security across the continent. And using technology to solve that problem, the companies that do that could have a huge impact. So anyone who's talking about agri-tech is of great interest to myself. My advice for startups looking for good press is generally to have a good story, have an original story, be innovative. Innovation is a focus for us. It's something that we think about a lot, something that we practice. We tend to be less attracted to stories that are a bit too Me Too, things that you've seen elsewhere. But it could be a Me Too product, but have a completely innovative and new approach. That could be a great angle of the story. Every story for us has to have a thing. It's not just what the press release is announcing. Because press releases are essential in their own, as a way of alerting a journalist or an editor to a new development. But within that press release, within that piece of information, you want to find. We at Quartz are always trying to find the thing that's different, and that's around that we build a story, or we either build a story about that particular startup, or we build a story about a trend with startups, and look for the story there. I think London has the relationship between London's diaspora and the African market can be found in the fact that London has a huge African community, diaspora communities. It goes back, several generations, and you can see that with people who moved from London to start up companies like Jason at TV. And several other people who've been here, who've either come here to study or were born and raised here in London, and have moved back home, so to speak, to start business, because everyone at some point has some sort of pull to either where they first came from or where their parents come from, and it's a great opportunity to do new and interesting work, and the kind of opportunities you wouldn't get in Europe, just because it's a much more mature market and things are much more developed here, and you can have much more of an impact. So it's understandable that those links will always keep on going back and forth. I've had a great time at Agrotech Summit here in London. It's been great to be back in London and to meet a lot of new faces, but also some old friends as well. The networking here has been really, really excellent. I've met so many more new people, and I'm looking forward to the next one.